hasn't touched this, and
Good.
I've been in touch with Kelly too, and I've been in.
Let's go. Come on. Gotta go.
All right.
Gotta go.
There's
You're screwing up my whole speech this guy.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
There's counterfeit substandard parts in most of the nuclear plants in the United States.
Counterfeit substandard parts in nuclear plants in the United States. I'm not surprised to hear that. Why? Am I surprised?
And some of them have come from China. Now, when I brought
And in airplanes too, by the way.
When I brought this out, the NRC, Nuclear Regulatory Commission, accused me of...
And our weapons, we don't even know if they work. To show you how stupid we are, they did a major television program, 60 Minutes, I don't know if anybody saw it, where they go into the silos. The stuff is old, it's rotted, the phone systems don't work, the wires going to the phones are all... They don't even know if it works. And I said, if I were Obama, I wouldn't be showing that. And they got in there because Obama wanted people to see how bad it is so that maybe they could get some money to fix it up. How stupid is this?
Okay, I'm back. So we still in Gemini season. Shout out to all of the Geminis out there. Today is Donald Trump, the president's birthday. So I thought what better Gemini to do than Donald Trump? Because all the other main Geminis have already been done. I know it's a few that I'm missing, but I did a lot of the main Geminis. I think the only person I'm missing is Kanye West. But yeah, so happy birthday to Donald Trump. And I wanted to get into his birth chart because we know that Donald Trump is a big name. He one of the people, it's either you love him or you hate him. So he's a big popular figure based on his personality. So I figured what better person chart to break down to see if his birth chart lines up with his personality. So let's get right into it. Donald Trump was born June 14th, 1946 in Queens, New York. He's actually just turned 79, so they haven't updated this. But yeah, he just turned 79. So getting into his chart, Donald Trump is a sun in Gemini, a moon in Sagittarius, a Mercury in Cancer, a Venus in Cancer, a Mars in Leo, a Jupiter in Libra, a Saturn in Cancer, a Uranus in Gemini, a Neptune in Libra, a Pluto in Leo, a North Node in Gemini, a Lymph in Sagittarius, and then his rising sign is a Virgo. So, getting right into it. I actually thought that Donald Trump had a Mercury in Gemini's, so I was wrong. He actually got a Mercury in Cancer. So I've been saying that for a while now, but that's interesting to see. But anyway, getting into his chart. So like I say, every video, your sun, moon, and rising sign is considered your big three, them the three that tell the most about your personality. Your sun sign, you can look at that as the way that you think, your outer self, the way that you express yourself. Your moon sign is your feelings, so that's the way that you feel and react to things, and it's the hidden version of you. Your rising sign is your social personality, it's your outward body style, and your physical body. So I'm gonna break down the sun sign first. So his about Sun and Gemini. So we know that Gemini is an air sign, just like Libra and Aquarius. So it's dealing with communication and intellect. All air signs share in common that they're the thinkers of the zodiac, the communicators. That's why a lot of air signs are musicians, rappers, singers, public figures, public speakers like Donald Trump. That's kind of where that's where all air signs connect at, is that they're communicators, whether mental or verbal. What else about Gemini? Well, what's unique about Gemini is ruled by Mercury. So every sign is ruled by a planet. Mercury ruled Gemini and Virgo, technically. So Mercury is the planet of communication. So people with Mercury and Gemini, people with Mercury and Virgo are usually good communicators, which is true once I get into Mercury and Gemini. But Yeah, so Mercury also rules your thought process. So it's the way that you think, how fast you think. So so most Geminis, of course, are great at talking. They love talking. They love making music. Some of the best artists is Geminis. A lot of the artists is Geminis. When you look at Prince or Tupac or Biggie or Lauryn Hill, Kendrick Lamar, Kanye West, I think it's Ronald Isley, the lead singer of the Isley Brothers, uh, Faith Hill, and the list, Ice Cube, Andre 3000, like that's just off the top of my head. I just named like 10, 15 people. So a lot of Geminis are great at making music because they're great communicators with being ruled by Mercury. And then, like I said, other ones that don't make music, they can just be good public speakers like a Donald Trump is. So that's something else about Gemini. Gemini also, what else about Gemini? Gemini, I just made a video about this. Gemini is actually considered the most hated sign. And we can see that again with Donald Trump. But then on the flip side, they one of the most loved signs, and it can go back and forth because Geminis really make you take a stance. Because you got like Tupac and Prince is love you it's two of the most love Geminis. Like people really are fans of them and love them. And then on the flip side, you got people like Kanye West. Now, when Kanye West first came out, he was loved and everybody liked him, and now everybody hate him. And then you got Donald Trump, who a lot of people love him and a lot of people hate him. So Geminis is, but they are considered the most hated zodiac sign, and I just made a video about that. And that's because Geminis get the reputation of being two-faced because they are dual. That's the main thing about Geminis is that they have two sides to them, two personalities. That's why their symbol is besides this symbol, but their symbol is two faces, two people. So a lot of people don't like that Geminis are two-faced because they contradict themselves a lot. And you've seen that even with Tupac, uh, like, 1 minute they're positive, 1 minute they're negative. Even with Kanye West started off as a conscious, like intellectual kind of nerd dude, and then he changed into what we see today, that he a god, and we know all of the crazy stuff with Kanye. So that can really rub people the wrong way. And that's why a lot of people get caught up with Geminis, especially women who deal with Geminis, because of their up and down personality. You never know what you're gonna get with a Gemini. 1 minute they can be romantic, the nicest person in the world. Then the next minute they getting on your nerves and acting crazy. So that's the big thing about Gemini. Then also Geminis are known as huge cheaters, probably the biggest cheater in the zodiac. Me personally, on my list, I put Sagittarius, but they the opposite of Gemini. But them probably the top two in my opinion. But so of course they get hated for that because Geminis are known for being unfaithful. So that's just off of the top of my head, things about Gemini, and I'm gonna read the breakdown of what they say about Gemini. So it says Geminis are friendly, clever, talkative, versatile, curious, perceptive, intuitive, and logical. At times they can be quite contradictory, restless, two-faced, critical, and impatient. Gemini people enjoy and need work that includes a great deal of variety. They love to do several things all at the same time, sometimes making them late for appointments. They hate boredom. Geminis tend to flit from one experience to another, gathering in all types of information along the way, but seldom getting to the depth of any subject. They go broad and not deep. Persistence is not their strong suit. Gaining knowledge and disseminating it is their real talent. Hence, they make wonderful salespeople or teachers if they stick around long enough to get all of the facts instead of only half of the story, even if they do not process all of the facts. Since they are not since they are never at a loss of words, they will continue with their story as if they did have all of the facts. It is important for Gemini to seek intellectual satisfaction. Mental stagnation turns them off. So they read intensely and communicate widely in order to satisfy this longing for mental stimulation. This disconnect can make them either very ambitious or it can incline them to jump from one thing to another, searching for the greener grass which never appears. Geminis usually think quickly on their feet and have the ability to use their words in any situation. They possess tremendous wit and a good sense of humor. Other people may have difficulty in keeping up with their rapid change of subjects. Because Geminis think so quickly, they often finish other people's sentences for them. This can be most frustrating for the person trying to express their own thoughts. There's a need to learn how to control the tongue and allow slower people to express their own opinions and ideas. Since Geminis have the capacity to see both sides of any issue, they may fluctuate back and forth between opposing viewpoints. They will usually tend to side with the opinion of whoever they happen to be with at the moment. Then they change as the circumstance changes. Indecisiveness is a problem for Geminis. Geminis are usually emotionally detached. They use their minds rather than their hearts to find their way through things. Logic and reason are their guidelines. They are able to understand what makes other people behave as they do, but they have a difficulty in projecting themselves into the emotional reactions of the person involved. Some of the negative traits that Geminis possess are lack of concentration and focus, undependability, fickleness, indecisiveness, superficiality, wishful thinking, and dreamness. They can also be pretty good at nagging. Geminis need to work on getting their mind under control. Their nervous system is highly strong. If they don't learn how to control their nerves, they are apt to become ill. The way out of this difficulty is to take emphasis off themselves and lose it through service to others. Above all, the Gemini needs to learn to channel, control his energy and mind. So yeah, that was a lot. But yeah, that's all things definitely about Geminis, for sure. We definitely see that a lot with Donald Trump. Donald Trump, we know, has done a lot of things from being a actor, having a TV show to now being a president. He was a businessman. So a lot of Geminis like to have their hands in a lot of different things. You know, Geminis are considered the jack of all trades. But like they said, Gemini sometimes can struggle with going deep into things. So that's where the master of none comes in. But they like mental stimulation, so they like to multitask. Geminis are the kings and queens of multitasking, of doing a bunch of different things at once. Of course, we know Geminis hate boredom. Uh, they can be impatient. They like talking, and all of this leads to them why they might jump from a lot of relationships, have a lot of different friends, for sure. And then their Geminis can definitely lack concentration and focus and be undependable. That's why a lot of Geminis in life do struggle. Like my dad is actually a Gemini, and that was always the thing with him. But come to find out, at looking at his chart, he has no fire in his chart. His chart is all water and air. So if you don't have, if your chart, and this is my first time saying this because I just realized this, but it's good to have a balanced chart, a chart where you have air and fire, water, and earth, because if you lacking in one element, that can stop you from, um, I don't know what's the word I'm looking for, of being what you need per se. For example, like I was saying with my dad having mostly air and water in his chart and having no fire signs in his chart, that makes him lack passion and lack like the go-getterness and the fireness that having a fire in your chart gives you, or being a fire sign give you. So if you have all air in your chart and no fire, you you gonna basically overthink things. That's the best way to. You gonna always be in your head, and you're not gonna have that fire or that passion in you to make you want to do things. On the opposite side, like I'm somebody who I don't have a lot of water in my chart. I think I only have, I know I got a Pluto and Scorpio. That's about it because I don't have no Pisces or Cancer in my chart. I think I might have Scorpio and one other thing. So that's why I'm not an emotional person. And it makes sense. Like I don't do good with emotions. I'm not overly emotional at all. So that's explained by the lack of water in my chart. So that's something that you always have to take in consideration. But what I was getting to is that Geminis are a lot of Geminis can be undependable. I know a lot of Geminis who change job, hop from job to job. Like, and that's why I say astrology is so crazy and real is that find me a earth sign, mainly a Taurus or a Capricorn, and you're gonna find somebody who been on their job for a long time and been able to keep a steady job. Find me somebody who's a Gemini or have a Gemini moon, or maybe even Mars, because I do have a Gemini Mars, but I'll get into that when we get to the Mars sign. But they usually gonna be somebody who can't keep a steady job, who gonna be undependable. Could their lack of concentration and hopping all over the place, it comes across as undependable, and that's why a lot of Geminis can not be there when you need them, um, and so on and so on. But like I said, on a positive note, because I know it's like dang, like the Geminis get like a lot of um get a lot of hate towards them or negativity towards them. That, like I said, that's why they're most hated sign. But every sign, of course, has the good in them. Like I said, on the flip side, Geminis are great talkers. They're great at communicating. So when you good at communicating, life is all about communicating. So that's why they can become popular artists. I forgot Kodak Black. They can become great artists. They can be good in relationships because they're good at talking. We know that communication is a big part of a relationship. So that can be great. You need communication to make friends. That's why Geminis can have a lot of friends because they're good at connecting and communicating with people. So, that's the good side about Geminis. Um, and then like Geminis are smart. I do say that just like all of the air signs, like Geminis is considered, they are smart people. They might do a lot of dumb things, but Geminis are definitely not dumb people or not a dumb sign. So that's it about the sun and Gemini. So getting into moon and Sagittarius. So I already said your moon sign is your feelings and the way you react to things. So Sagittarius is a fire sign, just like Aries and Leo. So Sagittarius, all fire signs are passionate, impulsive, and have a temper. Um, that's why they fire signs. So that's what they share in common, that they all passionate. All three can be go-getters, and then they all impulsive and have a temper to a certain degree. What's unique about Sagittarius is ruled by Jupiter. So Jupiter's the planet of traveling, expansion, higher learning, some of the things, and I think religion also is with Jupiter and Sagittarius rule. So Sagittarius are known for loving to travel, loving to be free. That's why a lot of Sagittarius are single. They like being single. That's why a lot of Sagittarius are known for being cheaters. We look at with Offset and Cardi B or a little baby. Trying to think who else. DMX was a Sagittarius, and we knew he got like 17 kids. Like Sagittarius are known for being free roam because they're the sign of basically freedom. So they like to be free. So yeah, a lot of Sagittarius definitely um don't like to be tied down. Them and like Sagittarius and Aquarius and Aries is the three signs that just they have to have their freedom. They don't like to be told what to do more so than any other signs. So with Donald Trump having a Sagittarius moon and a sun and Gemini, it's no wonder he been with a lot of different women. We gonna get into his relationships once we get to his Venus and Cancer, but I know off the top of my head, I know Donald Trump been married a bunch of times, at least like with three, four times. I haven't even I don't even remember. I know it's more than twice though. Okay, so you've been married 3 times. Okay. So, yeah, so it's definitely somebody who going to, and I'm pretty sure outside of them 3 marriages, he probably then dated and had a bunch of girlfriends. So, because we with Gemini and Sagittarius, we dealing with two signs who known for being players, known for dating around. What else about Sagittarius? Um, what else about Sagittarius? And I know a lot about Sagittarius. Um, and then I forgot this also. Um, each sign is either fixed, mutable, or cardinal. So fixed signs like Aquarius or Taurus or Leo, Scorpio, they're going to be fixed in they're fixed, so they're gonna be the stable ones. Like they don't like to change their mind. They're gonna be stubborn. So the fixed signs are the ones on the negative side, they can be stubborn, so it's hard to change their mind. It's hard for them to do something new or different, which can be a problem in some ways, because especially for like Taurus, which is the most stubborn sign, like it can cause them to stay in bad relationships because they're stubborn and they don't like change. So on the negative side, fixed signs could have a problem with staying in bad relationships or staying somewhere at a job that they shouldn't be at too long, or staying in a place for too long that they should have moved on from. On the positive side with fixed signs is that they the ones that can get stuff done. They're the ones that can see things through. They can see relationships through on the other end. They can be considered more loyal when it comes to things. So that's fixed signs. Cardinal signs are initiators, so they're the ones that's used to changing. That's Aries, Capricorn, Cancer, and Aries, Capricorn, Cancer, and oh, we on fire. Aries, my bad. So they're the initiators. They like to get things going. They're the ones that like to go on and do new things, seek new things, initiate new things. I think I forgot Libra. Yeah, Libra is cardinal. So, but with mutable signs, which Gemini Sagittarius is, they are adaptable, like the word mutable. So that's why they're able to be in a lot of different relationships, and it's hard for them to stay grounded because they ever changing, they mind always changing, and they can adapt to a lot of different situations. So that could be relationships, people, mutable signs. They do best when it comes to like blending in with different religions, or just people. Like it's more easier for mutable signs to get along with people, um, because they able to change and adapt the way they feel and think about things. So depending on the element, like Gemini is a mutable air, so they're going to be ever changing when it comes to the way that they think about things versus like um what is mutable water? Oh, Pisces. So Pisces mutable water. Water is dealing with emotions. So Pisces gonna be ever changing when it comes to the way that they feel about things. So that's on the positive side, that they can get along with a lot of different people, connect with a lot of different people. But then on the negative side, that's what makes them cheaters, because they are not fixed, they ever changing, and it's easy for them to change their thoughts or their feelings to go along with someone else. So they can be more easily persuade than like a fixed sign is. So yeah, that's things about Sagittarius off the top of my head. So what it says is about Sagittarius moon. Donald Trump is independent, outspoken, open, generous, enthusiastic, idealistic, inspired, and optimistic. So yeah, them some things I missed too that I always say about Sagittarius. Because I say Sagittarius' biggest strength and biggest weakness is they optimism. They the most optimistic sign. So on the positive side, Sagittarius always think that things is going to go good. They're never down. Like Sagittarius is usually depressed. Like I didn't see Sagittarius who have like their life is literally in distress and they still got a upbeat attitude. But on the negative side, optimism that's what lead a lot of Sagittarius getting into bad situations because they don't think of the bad side of things. Because that's the flip side of being optimistic. You always think of the best result. You're not thinking of the worst result. What could go wrong? So that's one thing I meant to say. And that they outspoken. To me, Sagittarius probably is the most blunt and straightforward sign. Like Sagittarius tell it like it is. And these qualities attract many friends and acquaintances. Donald Trump seems to thrive on travel, sociability, fellowship, and expressing his opinions to whoever will listen. In addition, he is adventurous, playful, freedom-loving, and always ready for a good time. Donald Trump rarely allows difficulties to keep him down, for no matter how bleak the past or present, he always expects a better, brighter future. In fact, he is uncomfortable with his own or other people's problems and emotional pain. Donald Trump often tries to cheer up or offer um physiological advice to those who are hurting, but unwittingly he avoids or ignores the emotions involved. Friendship means a great deal to him, perhaps even more than love or romance. For Donald Trump to be happy, his mate must be his best friend and encourage his aspirations and ideals. Donald Trump also needs a great deal of emotional freedom and mobility. On the negative side, Donald Trump may be rather intolerant, closed minded, dogmatic, arrogant, non objective, risk taking, or possess a holier than thou attitude. But we know that all of these things is true about Donald Trump, definitely considered dogmatic, and dogmatic is kind of like being a dictator, basically, like being like stern, strict, closed-minded in their views, like they say, closed-minded, risk-taking. We know that Donald Trump is definitely risk-taking, possess a holier than thou attitude. Definitely, we know all of these things with Donald Trump. And then we know that he's outspoken, independent, uh, generous in his own way. And we know that he optimistic. So we definitely see Donald Trump, Sagittarius and Moon, like it goes both together. So this another example of proof that astrology is real. Donald Trump definitely is the sun in Gemini, Moon in Sagittarius. All the things I just read about Jim and said about Gemini and Sagittarius, combine them together, and you definitely see that in Donald Trump personality. So getting more into it, his Mercury is in Cancer, so I already explained. Oh, and the moon is ruled by Cancer because every sign is ruled by a planet. The sun is actually ruled by Leo. So when you have a planet rule, a sign ruled in a planet, you usually do good in that area. So Cancers are usually good when it comes to their feelings and emotions. People who have a moon in Cancer, they good with emotions and picking up on other people's emotions. People with Sun and Leo, they're good at shining and standing out. And then like Mercury, people with Mercury and Gemini and Virgo are good at communicating. So his is actually in Cancer. So um and on the flip side, well, I'm not trying to make this video, but basically the opposite sign of that sign is what does bad in that planet. So people with the moon in Capricorn, because Capricorn is the opposite of Cancer, they might struggle with their feelings and emotions. And if you know anything about Capricorns, they do. They gonna have a trouble when it comes to feelings. Just like on the flip side, people who have a Mercury in Virgo, I mean, no, the Mercury in Pisces, because it's the opposite of Virgo, or a Mercury in Sagittarius, because it's the opposite of Gemini, they might struggle when it comes to communication. So his is in Cancer, so it's kind of middle of the pack. So what we know about Cancers is that it's a water sign, just like Pisces and Scorpio. So it's dealing with emotions. Like I said, Cancer rules the moon. The moon rules Cancer, so it's dealing. Cancers is known for being moody. Cancers rule the home life. So a lot of cancers take pride in their family. Cancers is the sign of family, so family is always big and important to cancers. Um, what else about Cancer? A lot of cancers are known for being good cooks. Cancers love food. What else about cancers? Cancers is one of they rule by well, their sign is the crab. So a lot of cancers can, like I said, be moody or go into their shell when they hurt. Um, so them some things off the top of my head about cancer, but that's all going to relate to when it comes to Donald Trump communication style because we dealing with Mercury. So what this is about Mercury and Cancer, Donald Trump mind is connected with his memories, feelings, and emotions from the past. Donald Trump tends to hold on to memories of things because they give him security. Donald Trump is highly interested in inner, subjective, and personal issues, and his thinking is based more on feeling intuition and personal experiences and prejudice rather than reason or logic. Intellectual abilities and accomplishments without heart or soul mean little to Donald Trump. Donald Trump is a sensitive listener and deeply interested in a person's feelings and inner life. In addition to psychology, he is probably drawn to education, art, poetry, music, or mythology. Donald Trump is shy and somewhat reticent about was that supposed to be reluctant, but about speaking in public, but he will open himself up and share his thoughts in a small, intimate, little family type circles of people he knows and trusts. Donald Trump perhaps enjoys keeping a diary or clinical of his thoughts and feelings regarding his day-to-day happenings. Donald Trump mind retains and absorbs knowledge easily. Donald Trump is intuitive, psychic, and sympathetic, yet may become depressed over his own problems and the problems of the world. Donald Trump may have difficulty in getting to the root of the problem because he is so easily involved and emotionally with the people instead of the problem. Donald Trump may struggle to make decisions or may simply change his mind frequently. It is necessary to improve Donald Trump's mental attention and control. So yeah, them all things about Mercury and Cancer. So a lot of this conflicts with this sun and Gemini and moon and Sagittarius because Cancers is not really known as the most expressive sign unless they have a Mercury in Gemini like Shannon Sharp does, because Shannon Sharp actually, if you know who that is, the football player, and now he got his own podcast. He's a sun in Cancer, moon in Cancer. Um, but he got a Mercury in Gemini, so that's why he loves to talk and communicate versus a typical Cancer, because Cancer's really, which I have noticed meeting a lot of cancers, like a lot of cancers are like a standoff. Like if you meet somebody who don't like opening up, don't like sharing a lot about themselves, real standoffish, they probably a Cancer or maybe a Scorpio, because Scorpios can be like that too. But Scorpios are a little bit more talkative and out there than a Cancer is. So that can be really the conflict between the two. And that's why Donald Trump, even more so than a typical Gemini, can fluctuate on how he communicate and see things. But it explains why he's so emotional and emotionally connected with things. We know with him being the president, because like they said, everything is tied to something emotionally, whether it's something from the past, his memories, and he um what else? Psychic, depressed over his own problems or the world problems. So we could see that with him becoming the president, caring about the world problems. Uh, in addition to psychology, he might be into education, art, poetry, music, and mythology. Um, I don't know necessarily if he fall into these, but it still all kind of ties together with what he do with being out there, being a president and being a public speaker, being into different things that has to do with entertainment. What else it says? That some of the things that he do might be without reason or logic because it's emotional. Um, so I could definitely see that for sure with Donald Trump. That's why a lot of the things that he does is driven by emotion and about the past and connecting with people and the people that he meet, like they say, like if Donald Trump is your friend, he's your friend, just like if he's your enemy, he's your enemy. So all of that makes sense when it comes to his Mercury and Cancer. So it can be kind of conflicting because when we see Donald Trump got a mixture of everything, but there's no Earth in Donald Trump's chart. So when it comes, like I said, when your chart is missing something, it can be a negative. So with Donald Trump not having no Earth, he's missing practicality and he could be in stability because that's what Earth sign bring: discipline, stability, and practicality. So that can be explained why Donald Trump is all over the place. He lacks stability when it comes to like even filing for bankruptcy all of them times, or we know he never had to keep a steady job, always changing relationships. That's all comes from the lack of Earth in his chart. And then even when it comes to practicality, a lot of things that he do is not considered practical, which means that it makes logical reason or sense. Most of the stuff that he do is going to be emotion based. Um, Now the error in his chart does make him logical, but it doesn't make him grounded. So let me explain. So lack of earth in the chart indicates a potential lack of grounding, practicality, and connection to the material world. This can manifest as difficulties with material possessions, financial security, or maintaining a stable lifestyle. While this can be a challenge, it also opens the possibility for unconventional careers, intellectual pursuits, or focus on spiritual or artistic adventures. So, there you go about Donald Trump. That's why he ventured off into unconventional careers like becoming a president, becoming an entertainer and doing different stuff. But then you see, like I said, Donald Trump being able to lack financial security, stable relationships with people. All of that comes from the lack of earth in his chart. The reason why Donald Trump is able to make it with him being a celebrity, so of course he's still rich. But like if Donald Trump was a regular person, we know Donald Trump would probably be then went homeless or be a person who struggles when it comes to money and being able to keep a steady job and material things. So somebody who's not a celebrity that got Donald Trump chart, life might not be good when it comes to making money and financial things. Is what that means. So next is Venus and Cancer. So Venus is the planet of love, beauty, and harmony. So Venus rules your love language. So a lot of times we look at astrology for compatibility, but people look at your sun sign. Your sun sign is just the way that you think. So if your sun sign is the same as somebody else, I mean, or if it's compatible with somebody, like if you air sign and you will be compatible with another air sign or a fire sign. That just means that y'all think the same. But you got to look at your moon sign to see if y'all feel the same way. And then your Venus is your love language and the way that you view love, um, the way that you express love. So that's important too when it comes to compatibility. So you want to look at your Venus sign also. So his is in Cancer also. So I already explained Cancer. So um, of course, he's going to be attracted to someone. He got to connect with them basically emotionally. Um, he probably, of course, going to be compatible with somebody who has a Venus in a water or a earth sign. Um, so yeah, I'm just gonna read what it says. I ain't gonna even try to overthink it. And then we gonna get into Donald Trump relationships to see if he compatible with his wife. So. But first, it said Donald Trump is quiet, shy, sensitive, and sentimental, gentle, and romantic, and his feelings are deeply attached to his family, old friends, and familiar places and memories in the past. Donald Trump places high value on remembering and commemorating basically remembering birthdays, anniversaries, family rituals, and other days of personal significance. Donald Trump seeks caring, emotional support, and security in love affairs. Donald Trump can be changeable and inconsistent in matters of feeling and emotion. Donald Trump desires peace and harmony in his home environment. Donald Trump clings to those he cares about like a crab that won't let go. Donald Trump's affection and concern for others could become a clingy, possessive, don't let go sort of relationship if taken so far. Insecurity, as well as feelings of being unloved or unnurtured, may cause him to overeat and acquire weight. Donald Trump's fondness of fatty or sweet foods could be contributing to this situation. His mother was slash is most likely for his feelings of love and affection. Donald Trump likes to be needed. That his personal charm, magnetism, and sympathy makes him a natural caregiver. Donald Trump has a need to take care of others. So yeah, we definitely could see that with his Venus and Cancer. We know Donald Trump has a big family, and this is what balanced out his chart of being a Sun and Gemini, Moon, and Sagittarius because his Venus and Cancer is why he is married and continues to get married and values relationship and family versus a typical Gemini Sagittarius. So this kind of evens and balances that out. And then it makes him also emotional versus just strictly logical when it comes to like his sun and his moon sign. So that definitely makes sense. And we know these things to be true about Donald Trump. Even when they said that he could like fatty and sweet foods, we definitely know that. I don't know what Donald Trump relationship was like with his mother. I never watched like an in-depth biography or nothing about Donald Trump growing up. Um, so yeah. He can hold on to the memories in the past. So yeah, just like his Mercury and Cancer. So yeah, all of them things definitely make sense. So now gonna get into who Donald Trump has been married to see if it lines up or not. Oh, Donald Trump's, I think this is yeah, his first wife. February 20th, she is a Pisces. Let's see if they got her chart. And they do. So she's a sun in Pisces, moon in Sagittarius, Venus in Aquarius, rising sign Cancer. So also you can look at your rising sign because your rising sign is how you view somebody. So if your rising sign are compatible, you could be, attracted to them physically. Um, it could be a physical thing. So Virgo and Cancer go together as earth and water. Sun and Pisces, Pisces and Gemini typically doesn't go together because it's water and air. So Pisces is emotional, Geminis are logical, so that could clash. But one thing I noticed, certain times, certain signs of the elements can be more compatible with the signs that they're not compatible with, just because of their traits. Like for example, Pisces and Gemini get along better than typically a Pisces or an Aquarius or especially Aquarius, but Libra too. But Libra and Pisces can go together for the same reason that Pisces and Gemini go together because Gemini and Libra are romantic signs. Libra is the sign of partnerships and love because I don't know if I forgot to say Venus actually rules Libra and Taurus. So people with Libra and Taurus, Venus going to be good when it comes to relationships and love and partnerships. But Gemini and Pisces can get along because they're two romantic signs. Pisces probably is the most romantic sign. We know that Geminis like to be romantic. So that's where they do click together, even though they might have problems because one is emotional and one is logical. So, So their sun signs is not totally compatible, but then in a way that it is. But they both got the same moon sign, so their feelings was the same. So that's where they're compatible with. And then her Venus is in Aquarius, his is in Cancer. So their Venus is not compatible because Aquarius and Cancer is definitely not compatible, but you have to remember it's your love language in the way that you love. So hers is Aquarius, which is the air sign. So she's going to um like communication when it comes to her love language, because that's like Aquarius is and intellectual. So she's gonna be intellectual when it comes to love, which Donald Trump being a son of Gemini, it lines up in him being a communicative type of person. Then on the flip side, his is in Cancer. So with her being the sun in Pisces, he values emotion in a relationship. And with her being the sun in Pisces, she is emotional. So you can look at that too with your Venus when it comes to lining up with the sun sign or moon sign, because it's dealing with the love language. So in that way, they still is compatible. So yeah, they was compatible for sure. Besides, they sun signs don't exactly line up, but I explained how Pisces and Gemini sometimes go together, but they got the same moon sign. So next is Marla Maples. October 27th is a Scorpio. So rising sign is a Capricorn. His is I said a Virgo, right? So yeah, that's two earth signs. So they rising sign lines up. Scorpio and Gemini doesn't line up because again, that's water and air. So it's logic versus emotion. So that might be why they got a divorce also. But then their moon sign does line up because the Aquarius and Sagittarius go together. It's air and fire. Venus and Scorpio, Moon and Venus and Cancer go together, so they Venus is compatible because they both water signs, so they both value they love in an emotional type of way. So that lines up. And then like I said, his Cancer, Venus still would go with her Sun and Scorpio, and then um what's it? Oh, Gemini. So that wouldn't go together. So it's a little bit tricky, but it do line up because their rising sign is compatible, their moon sign is compatible again. And then they both got water sign for Venus, so they both love in a emotional type of way. So next is his current wife that he been married to. So they've been together with 20 years now. So she April Taurus. Rising sign is a Leo. Um, Sun in Taurus, Moon in Capricorn, Venus in Taurus. So, hmm, they sun signs is not compatible, or their moon sign is not compatible because it's Earth dealing with air and fire. They Venus is compatible because we got Taurus and Cancer. Taurus and Cancer is compatible because it's earth and water. And then she actually got a Venus to Taurus, so she ruled partnerships and relationships. So um they both value family. That's what they do have in common, with both of them having a Venus in Taurus and Venus in Cancer. So they typically not compatible, but the thing that I can see why they is together, because like I say about Taurus, I did Taurus was before Gemini, but Taurus values relationships and partnership. And then Taurus also is a materialistic sign like all earth signs, but Taurus values money and stability. So Taurus is some people who will marry for money, date somebody for money, um, for sure. And they value love to a detriment. And that's why I said when I was saying earlier about fixed signs, because Taurus is fixed. A lot of Taurus find themselves like Taurus more so than any sign I've seen. Maybe well, Pisces is up there too, but Taurus like to stay in bad relationships, like because they're fixed. Like they don't like to my bad. They don't like to change their mind a lot. I mean, will change relationships a lot because they're stubborn, even when it comes to relationships. So when they're with somebody, they with somebody, they gonna see it to the end. So and then you see all of this earth in her chart. So she's somebody who's stable and practical. And she probably help him stay stable and practical also. So that's where I could see it balancing out because she's and then Moon and Capricorn. So she's all about Capricorn is about stability and climbing the chart and Capricorn's rule the work life. Capricorn's is about status. Yeah, Capricorn rules status. So I'm not saying this. I don't know. It might even be a known fact. I haven't looked at this, but I can see, even though that I can see her not being compatible or liking Donald Trump, but she likes him for his status and his money and who he is. Because that's what her chart is saying. And she's somebody that I think they got kids. I'm pretty sure. Okay, they got one kid together. So, and then there's the age difference too, ain't there? 46 and 70. So she 55. So he's 20 years older than her too. So yeah, because this the first time that somebody chart didn't line up. But when you look at it, we know what this relationship is. So that's basically what I'm getting at. This relationship, she's in it for the money and the social status and the stability of it. He's in it because she's young and attractive. Because you see her, that's the old picture of her, but you seem like, she looks like a attractive woman. Especially she probably was 20 years ago when they got married. Y'all don't got no young picture. Yeah, see, this is them. You when she was younger, like she's very attractive, and she's 20 years younger than him. So, it's a basic case of getting. Donald Trump wanted a young hot woman, and she wanted a famous, person. So that's what I can really see their relationship being um built off of more so than anything. And which makes sense. But basically, if she wasn't attractive and Donald Trump wasn't rich and famous, they wouldn't be together. Like this chart wouldn't have worked with two normal people. That's what I'm getting at. So yeah. What was that? So back to it. Um, his Mars is in Leo. So Mars is your aggression, your passions, and your sexualities, but it's like it's your passions and your desires, and your Mars act out your sun sign. So it's what you aggressive towards, which like what you gonna be aggressive towards. So his is in Leo, so we know Leo is a fire sign, just like Aries and Sagittarius. So it's going to be so anybody who has a Mars in a fire sign, because Mars is actually ruled by Aries. So because Aries is the most aggressive and out there, most passionate sign. So, but any sign that any Mars with the fire sign, like any fire sign Mars, is going to be passionate and go-getters and going to be aggressive. So all fire signs do good when it comes to Mars. On the flip side, the opposite of Aries, so Libras, Mars and Libras can struggle when it comes to when it comes to being aggressive and being passionate and making decisions. Um, I forgot to say people with Venus and Aries or Scorpio. Yeah, Aries or Scorpio can struggle when it comes to love because that's the opposite of Libra and Taurus. But yeah, so his is in Leo. So we know Leos are known for being a star. Like I said, they rule by the sun. So a lot of Leos like attention, they like shining. A lot of Leos are actors, like Geminis are known for the communicators, the singers and the rappers and the singers and the rappers and the artists. Leos are known for being actors and because they like to express themselves. So they animated, a lot of Leos are animated people. Over dramatic is what I call it. They can be. So that's his Mars and Leo. So we know that that's what's he gonna be aggressive. But somebody with a Mars and Leo, they're going to want to be the star basically, and they're going to be aggressive towards things that makes them be in the limelight, things that make them shine. A lot of Mars and Leos could be actors, like to be on camera, which we know about Donald Trump. So his Mars and Leo definitely makes sense. And what it says, Donald Trump is proud and probably has a big ego. So there we go. Because yeah, Leos are known for having a big ego. Donald Trump wants to excel, to stand out and be recognized for who and what he is. Donald Trump likes to be number one. It's difficult for Donald Trump to take orders or to stay in the background. Donald Trump likes to be noticed and will do things in a dramatic manner just to get attention and be seen. Donald Trump hates being wrong and may insist that he is always right. Donald Trump is forceful, strong, energetic, artistically creative, determined, and highly competitive. Donald Trump plays hard, he plays to win, and he does not give up easily. In fact, Donald Trump sees life as a competitive sport, game, or performance. Donald Trump loves admiration and applause. He has a strong sense of personal honor and integrity. Donald Trump tends to be self-confident, even arrogant, but Donald Trump may become self-conscious, defensive, and rather be, be legitimate if his self-confidence is shaken. Donald Trump tends to be enthusiastic, rather impulsive, full of energy, and ambitious. Donald Trump is very arrogant in matters of love and will pursue his love interest with great fervor and passion, letting nothing get in the way of his desires. Donald Trump doesn't beat around the bush, but says exactly what he feels, often in an embarrassing, direct way. On the negative side, there may be a love of taking risks or gambling. Donald Trump can be quarrelsome, argumentative, and jealous. There may be heart trouble if physical activity is overdone, when Donald Trump is not in shape, or if anger is allowed to vent destructively. Energy and passion both need to be disciplined. Donald Trump needs to be admired for his actions. So there we go. That explains Donald Trump a lot. Like I said, having a big ego, and this is what he's passionate toward. He need to be admired for his actions. He loves standing applause. That's why he loved giving speeches. He being a president. I mean, I don't understand. That's why I be wanting to stop these videos because it's like astrology be right every single time. Like it really don't be nothing else to really say. Um, I mean, yeah, I mean that they basically summed up Donald Trump entire personality. He hates being wrong. It's hard for him to stay in the background. He's competitive. I mean, there ain't nothing else to really say for real. about Donald Trump Mars being a Leo. Uh, Next is Jupiter. Jupiter is in Libra.